Good morning. I had an absolutely belter of a sleep last night. I think I might have just found my new favourite park up. I'm going to have a wander into Cromford Mills now. And I believe that there's also a walking trail that takes you along the canal path. So I'm going to have a go at that. So yeah, great little park up. Just two of us here last night. That was it. So quiet, so peaceful. And it was snowing last night. It didn't settle, but it was snowing, and I had the window open, and it was just an amazing just atmosphere. Now I find my stops on Search for Sites and Park for Night. And Park for Night, I managed to get a deal at the last show in October where I think I paid £14 for 2 years membership. Now Search for Sites, yes, you do have to pay for it. It's £5.99 a year, and for me that is well worth it. So anyway, just a little bit of Joe advice there for you. So I'm going to head off into the Mills, where apparently there's toilets and showers as well. So I mean, that's just great. For £12 a night, you can actually stop here as well for 3 nights. Can even have a party. Richard Arkwright, so Richard Arkwright, apologies, was actually the person who thought about the power of water and turned the cotton milling industry into one that was powered by water. So here we go, you'll have heard of Spinning Jennies, and this is where Sir Richard Arkwright became the richest man in England. Arkwright looked after his staff. There were the toilets. Apparently, now as a business lecturer, like I said, this is really interesting. These weren't provided normally for workers. I dread to think. The cave that I previously showed you was actually an entrance to a lead mine. And for the shoppers amongst us, there's some great little artisan shops. Oh, we used to have one of those in the garden. just had a try of this cheese, Peakland White with chilli and chocolate. Now, for any cheese lovers out there, and you'll have seen my recent trip to Belgium, this is one not to miss out on. I've treated John. He's not come with me, but I've bought him a couple of 100 grams, but guess who'll be really eating it? Now, despite the ducks, it is dog friendly as well. So I've seen lots and lots of dogs around, so I know that's one question I always get asked, but now there's nobody in here, but for those of you who do stop in your motorhome, our toilets open from 9 till 5, but part of those, and the lady at the gift shop just showed me, is the shower, and this is included in your overnight. Now for me, look at how absolutely gleamingly clean. So there is a shower for anybody staying in the motorhome. I should also say as well, I've just been in there, and that shower room is also heated. I'll give you a quick tour of the car park. Apologies if you're not a motorhomer, but there's plenty of parking spaces now. The lady in the gift shop did say how busy it gets during the summer. You can see I'm parked down here, just tucked away in this corner here. And there's another motorhomer arrived down there. So there's plenty of space. It's just some of the spaces at this time of year are a little bit wetter than others. Coffee shop, plenty of cafes. It's definitely somewhere you can get a breakfast. Now I'm just going to go back to the van because I'm going to take the cheese back. I've also bought Lucy, my daughter, a mug from the antique shop, and it's a royal commemorative mug with the Queen on. But there's the church, look, the bells go every hour. It's just so peaceful. This church is the one that Arkwright had built and wasn't originally buried here. He was actually buried in Matlock. But once this chapel was finished in the 1800s, he was reinstated here in the vaults. And the only people who can be and the only people who are in the vaults are members of the Arkwright family. Nice little cafe over there. Looks like you can actually do boat cruises in the summer months. Unfortunately it's March, so there's no boat trips for me. It's a great area for some walks. I have purposely chosen not to go on any walks today with the weather being as it is, and I'm by myself. I don't want to slip and end up injured. There's some kids down there as well enjoying themselves on some canoes. There's loads of ducks flying about literally right over my head, so just watch your head. But this is a nice little part of the tour. I'm still on the audio guide, I'm just not spoiling it, because if you do come to Cromford Mill, you can pay your £7.50 and contribute to what is a great place full of history. So I'm going to head up into town now, and first of all I need to get something to eat. I'm taking a nice little walk now into Cromford itself, following the audio guide's instructions, and along the way there's this cute little cafe, Tor Cafe, dogs welcome. Nice little area to sit outside. Bit of a busy road though. I suppose it is the main road between Matlock and Derby. Community centre, Howard's Cafe. Oh, it actually said on Google Maps that was closed. Lots of little streets I can see going up there, so I'm hoping the audio guide takes me up those. Just there in the background behind that white building you can see the entrance to a cave that's just behind the community centre. Now, Habib's was one of the options last night for dinner, but because it was raining at the time and it was sleet and snow, that's why I decided on hot noodle. So there's lots of places to eat out, but no shops to buy things to cook. Now, I've literally just said that, and look what I've come across. Arkwright's general stores, which looks like a shop to me where you can buy groceries. Got the Travellers Cafe up that little path, except it's closed on Sundays. So Arkwright paid £1,000 for these houses to be built down this street. So I've paused the audio guide and I've decided I'm going to head back into Matlock. The weather has come out and it's absolutely glorious. So I'm going to head back into Matlock. I'm going to go and I'm going to go grab some lunch. Not many places open in Cromwell on a Sunday. And it's only a mile, so it'll take me about 10 minutes. And I'm going to do the Lovers Walk because I think it'll be really nice today with the sun out. So I'm back at Matlock. And I did a video of this yesterday, but I still can't get over the fact that there's a massive fish pond in the town centre. And the water is crystal clear. What a difference a day makes though. The sun's come out, the weather's warmed up, and Matlock is buzzing. The car parks are flowing, full. I don't think I could really come to Matlock Bath without having some chips, and my choice is always curry sauce. So I'm kind of hoping I'm not getting myself into something here. Yeah, Matlock Bath is busy today with bikers. I'm just crossing the Jubilee Bridge, and I'm going to hopefully enjoy peace and tranquility, although I can't imagine it because I've come on a Sunday, of the Lovers Walk. and I'll be interested to find out if it's anything to do with the marriage proposals that you learn about in the Heights of Abraham. The steps up just appear on your left hand side, take you to the birdcage walk, which is the walk around the top of the cliff. But I need to be able to have the muscle strength to be able to drive home, and I think if I did that walk I could potentially be leaving myself with jelly legs. I think what surprised me about Matlock Bath is I didn't quite expect it to have such a seaside feel about it, and it does remind me a little bit of Scarborough. Now I don't know if that's just like P-Zone Park, and but I've really enjoyed myself, and there's amusements, and one of the attractions I did see in the amusements actually was the thermal baths. Now if anybody's been, drop me a comment as to whether it's worth it. It was only £3.80, so I think for that price can't really go wrong. It's just something about water, it's just so calming, and there's lots of cute old couples around me holding hands going out for a walk. If only John could tolerate me every now and again. I've had a brilliant weekend there in Matlock Bath, and if you've watched the video and you're not already subscribing and you'd like to join me on my future travels, we've got a couple of trips to Europe this year planned for any motorhomers considering going to Europe. There's a little square in the bottom corner that you can click on and subscribe to my channel, and if you're already subscribing, just give me a wave in the comments and let me know if there's anything I've missed. So you're joining me at the end of my weekend getaway here in Matlock Bath area. And the reason I'm doing it this way around is I think there's one thing that we really need to start appreciating or trying to understand is I've been to France and Belgium now in the last 6 months, 8 months. They are set up, their local governments, their local councils are absolutely set up for motorhomers because they understand the value that they contribute to the local economy. Here in the UK, the difference is we aren't. We are not set up to appreciate and allow for motorhomers and campervanners and people generally in van life. And the reason I say this is I have had a fantastic weekend, and if there were more places like this, I would quite happily stay in the UK. I wouldn't need to travel to Europe, but unfortunately there isn't. We're seeing more and more councils closing down car parks, closing down parking areas, and it's just so sad because then that gives me no option but to travel to Europe, to go and gain and to go and spend my money overseas.